Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to check the EX8, a new gamepad style entry-level radio controller by LDARC, a company which was formerly known as KINGKONG. In this quick video I'm going to go over its features and specs and give you my initial feedback after testing it out. In terms of packaging, the EX8 comes inside this compact carrying case, and you can choose between getting the radio controller and carrying case on their own and getting a combo version which is bundled with this dongle which I've previously reviewed, along with a radio receiver, which will enable you to wirelessly connect the radio controller to your computer in order to use it in a flight simulator. In terms of features and specs, the EX8 supports 8 channels. On its top side you can find 3 position switches and another 2-position switch. It is using a non-removable folding antenna. It features a USB Type-C connector, which is used for internally charging the included 1S 600 mAh battery, which should provide you with a couple of hours of working time, and also for upgrading the firmware of the radio controller. In addition, it also features a 3.5mm trainer port. On its back side you can find the battery bay, which will enable you to use a bigger battery than the included one. Turning on the EX8 is done by simply sliding this switch, and operating and setting up the EX8 is done by using this clickable dial and this pretty small but readable monochromatic LCD screen. As for its dimensions, the EX8 is very similar to the Radiomaster T8 radio controller. It is pretty light and weighs 220.5 grams. On its sides you can find grip patterns, and since it features a gamepad style form factor, it is mainly suitable for thumbers, although in case you are a pincher like me you can still use it, but in order to provide you with a better experience, I would recommend to replace these M3 stick-ends with better ones, which are more suitable for pinching. As for setting up the EX8, it is pretty simple since this radio controller is mainly intended for beginners. Using the scroll wheel dial, you can first set the username, which appears on the top left corner of the screen. Selecting the M icon will take you to this sub-menu where you'll be able to monitor the 8 channels. Reverse them. Set the LED color and mode of the scroll wheel button. Set the LCD screen contrast, brightness, backlight timer, and enable dark mode. Switch between mode 2 and mode 1 and perform a sticks calibration, and using the About menu, you'll be able to reset the radio controller to its default settings. Next, under the RF setting menu, you'll be able to switch between the 3 supported radio protocols: D16 non-EU, D16 LBT, and Futaba S-FHSS. After setting up the desired radio protocol, the radio controller is going to reboot itself, and in addition, under this menu, you'll be able to set the RF power to either 25 mW or 100 mW and bind the radio controller with the radio receiver. Finally, the EX8 features a timer which is by default going to start counting as soon as you are going to raise the throttle stick, and in order to reset it, you can use switch D. On the top right corner of the screen, you can find a battery indicator. According to LDARC, the working time of the EX8 is between 4 to 7 hours, which might sound a little bit exaggerated, although I didn't test it out. I can estimate that this radio controller will provide you with at least 2 hours of working time, which is pretty adequate. And in case you would like to extend the working time, you can purchase an extra battery or use a bigger one, as this radio controller is using an XH 2.54 battery plug. Just keep in mind that the maximum supported input voltage is 4.35 volts. Here you can see a quick demo of binding the EX8 with an Frsky XM Plus radio receiver. After putting the radio receiver in binding mode by pressing the bind button while powering it up, you'll need to select the correct radio protocol, which is in my case D16 non-EU, then press the bind button, and now as you can see the EX8 was successfully bound with the XM Plus radio receiver. As for its internal components, here you can see what it looks like after removing the back cover. The antenna is soldered to the main board. Here you can find a vibrator which is going to provide you with a haptic feedback after turning on the radio controller. It features joystick connectors, so repairing a broken switch should be fairly easy. And as far as I can tell, you cannot adjust the tension of the gimbals, although you can adjust the tension of the throttle by moving these two metal bars to the right side. The next thing that I've done is to head outdoors and test the LDARC EX8 radio controller along with the KremerFPV Recon 4FR quadcopter. Overall, after testing it out, I can tell you that the EX8 radio controller is comfortable to use. Its gimbals worked well and they seem to be very precise, which is really important. And keep in mind that this is a pretty basic radio controller that doesn't support telemetry. You can't even assign the auxiliary switches to specific channels, and you can't connect it directly to your computer using the USB Type-C connector for using it with a flight simulator. But having all that said, this is a basic radio controller, which is going to be a good option in case you're looking for something like that, in case you are a beginner. And I'm not going to be surprised if it's going to be bundled with beginners ready to fly kits. Anyway, that's going to be it for my quick hands-on review of the LDARC EX8 radio controller. As always, I thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it and you find it useful. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section down below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notifications bell if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos and goodbye.